Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Crowd Chatter podcast. Today, will be top 25 reaction for week 6. So, if you guys can't tell, if you guys don't know, you're gonna figure it out now because I'm about to tell you. But we do not have Jacob or Sam for this episode. Jacob's on vacation. Sam's busy studying for his upcoming midterms. So I'm the only one on today, and I'll be the only one on for all the episodes today. And the first episode we'll be starting with is the top 25 reaction to week 6. Before I get into it, though, also want to mention currently right now playing is the Seattle Seahawks and LA Rams Thursday night game. Russell Wilson just got hurt, so that's a big problem for my Seahawks. And also the Boston Red Sox are playing the Tampa Bay Rays in the MLB playoffs. So yeah, sports is really starting to get busy right now. As actually on the 12th in 5 days now, coming up Tuesday will be the NHL opener. And if you guys are NHL fans, I apologize. We do not do hockey on this channel. We are not. None of us really watch the NHL, so we don't really have anything for you there. But actually, a week after the NHL, exactly a week after, will be the beginning of the NBA. So we will obviously be covering the NBA. As for whether we'll be doing rankings for the divisions, I don't really know. I'm going on vacation next weekend anyway, so we'll see where it goes. But as of right now, we're just getting this done. So for the top 25, you look at the top here. You got Alabama at number 1. Not really a surprise. No one's really surprised. Georgia number 2 once again. Not really a surprise. Iowa after their big win against Maryland. I could not believe they blew out the Terps like that. But after Iowa's big win over Maryland, they jumped to number 3 ahead of Penn State before the two face off in what will be a massive, and I mean massive, matchup. Um, really a huge one there for both teams. And speaking of Penn State, they sit below Iowa at number 4 once again. No one's really surprised here. They shut out shut out Indiana 24 nothing at home. For some reason, that was the ABC primetime game. But good game overall. Cincinnati jumps up 2 spots after taking down Notre Dame on the road, mind you, and that is a huge win for Cincinnati. And I think this was fitting for the Bearcats. I mean, you take down a Power 5 team like Notre Dame on the road, you should move up, and you're undefeated. I mean, with that win, I think that puts a monkey wrench in who you put in the college football playoff because you got to consider Cincinnati. I mean, as bad as unspecial as Indiana has looked this season, Notre Dame, both of those wins in Bloomington and in South Bend are pretty solid wins. Just saying. Number 6, or for that top 5, not really much of a surprise. My opinion, that is where everyone should be in that top 5. As for the next 5, we have Oklahoma staying at number 6. They continue to just sneak away from every single team they play. So, yeah, okay. They continue to survive by the skin of their chinny chin chin, and so far they're lucking out every time. But Oklahoma number 6, Ohio State after a big win over Rutgers jumps up to number 7. A lot of teams took tumbles right in this stretch here, so a lot of teams were moving up after a lot of teams obviously tumbled. So Ohio State, one of the beneficiaries there. Oregon, surprisingly, only drops to number 8. In my opinion, I thought they would drop out of the top 10 after a very disappointing loss to Stanford, but they did not. And I mean, they dropped. Obviously, they're number 3, and now have dropped to number 8 after a very disappointing loss. Also, a loss of C.J. Verdell out for the season. another huge loss for the Oregon Ducks, who now are looking in serious trouble of possibly missing the college football playoff. And then at number 9 sits the Michigan Wolverines at number 9 in the country. Now, Michigan has looked very good. And I mean, I was saying the entire time the week before that against Wisconsin, this would be when we finally figured out how good this Michigan team is. They're apparently very good. I mean, I'm not going to say that Michigan's winning a championship. I'm not even going to say that Michigan has a chance of winning a championship. But this team definitely has looked solid. Um, and so I do think the Wolverines will have a solid year. I think this is going to be a good year for Michigan. We'll see how it continues to go as they have another road game coming up on, which is a scary one on, again, for some reason, ABC primetime. But we head to Lincoln, Nebraska. So as much as we should win that game, once again, it is under the lights, and I'm sure Nebraska is going to be looking to get some kind of a big win. So that ain't going to be easy for the Wolverines. And right behind the Wolverines, right behind the Wolverines, actually sitting there right in between Michigan and and one of their big rivals is BYU. And this team's been another surprise this season, just like the one. And this team has been another surprise this year. Sorry, I just turned on the light there. Forgot to turn that off. Sorry for the bad lighting. Anyway, BYU, really a surprise team this season. Not really many people expected these guys to succeed. So far, they've beaten a lot of Pac-10 or 12 Pac-12 teams. I am all over the place today. BYU's taken down a lot of Pac-12 teams. Gives himself the number 10 in the country, all still undefeated. They actually have a bigger game this week as they take on Boise State at home. That'll be an interesting matchup. At number 11, as I said earlier, sits the Michigan State Spartans. And this gives the Big Ten 5 top 11 teams. 4 in the top 10, but since Michigan State is 11, 5 top 11 teams. Of course, those are the only 5 teams ranked in the Big. Those are the only teams ranked in the Big Ten, but they all happen to be in the top 11. So really good, and 4 of those 5 teams are in the Big Ten East. So yeah, very good. But Spartans also have been very good this season. Kenneth Walker has really been a force from all year long and has really been a major reason why the Spartans have been succeeding as much as they have. Oklahoma State at number 12 in the country after their big win over what was number 21 Baylor. This Oklahoma State team, I think, has got talent. I love Spencer Sanders. I love Mike Gundy is a good head coach, and he's got something going over there in Oklahoma in Stillwater. Right behind Oklahoma State sits Arkansas at number 13. Arkansas, well, they don't look good. I'm sorry. This Arkansas team, they beat Texas, who I think is another overrated team, and then they played Georgia and they hit reality. Reality hit Arkansas and they played Georgia. I mean, yes, they played Georgia. Georgia's a really good team, but to lose 37-0 is different from just flat out losing. I expected Arkansas to lose by a sizable margin, but get shut out 37-0. I did not exactly see coming. And all that tells me this Arkansas team isn't nearly as good as people make them out to be. But right behind Arkansas is Notre Dame, who took a loss of their own as they lost to Cincinnati. This Notre Dame team does not impress me, and I think they'll continue to fall. But 14 seems suitable for them for the time being. And then number 15 is Coastal Carolina, who continues to win now at 5-0. Don't really have many issues with this. I'm a little surprised of BYU being in front of Michigan State, and I'm a little surprised by Oklahoma State being at number 12. But Doesn't really matter that much. And then right behind all of them, you got number 16 Kentucky, who just got into the top 25 this week after a huge upset over the Florida Gators. Big win for Kentucky. Right behind the Wildcats is Ole Miss, who took their own massive tumble. Of course, that one being Alabama. It's kind of hard to beat the Crimson Tide, so I don't blame them for losing that game. And right behind Ole Miss is Auburn, another SEC team. Auburn took down LSU in a surprise win, in my opinion. I thought the Tigers would they're both Tigers. I thought LSU would take that one instead. The Auburn Tigers, I keep wanting to say Tigers, but I keep forgetting they both are Tigers. But Auburn ended up taking that one, came back, won it. And Auburn moves on. They get to number 18 in the country now, ahead of their own big matchup against Georgia. There's a lot of primetime matchups this week, but there isn't a lot. There's a good amount of good games, but then other than those good games, there really isn't much. But there are a couple really, really good games, so this is definitely a week to watch. Number 19, Wake Forest, after their controversial win against Louisville. Something at the end of at the end of halftime, like timeout or something like that. I read a little bit about it. Didn't really read that much though. Number 20 is Florida after their disappointing loss on the road against Kentucky. Now with 2 losses, one to Kentucky, the other to Alabama. Florida, I don't really believe in this Gator team. They're okay at most, in my opinion. And then you have, at number 21, the Texas Longhorns. This team is consistently overrated every single year. The only reason they're in the top 25, and they just got in the top 25 this week, but the only reason they are in this top 25 is because they're playing Oklahoma. And it's the Red River rivalry, Red River showdown, whatever the heck you want to call it. Really, that's the only reason this team is in the top 25, but this is not a terrible Texas team. I just don't think they're really worthy of being ranked based off of who they've beaten. I mean, TCU, Texas Tech, UL, Lafayette, Louisiana, whatever you want to call them, and what was it, Rice, I think? Yeah, no. Number 22 is Arizona State, who just jumps back into the top 25 after taking down what was number 20 UCLA, and has put themselves in the driver's seat of the Pac-12 South. So big win there for Arizona State. They'll be playing Stanford this week, tomorrow actually, a game of which Jacob will be at. So if you are watching that game, it is 10:30 Eastern Time on ESPN. If you're watching that game, have a look out for Serbensky. You might find him in the stands somewhere. But Arizona State, number 22, this is a really good team. I think they definitely deserve to be ranked. This is a solid overall squad. Nothing to complain about here. Number 23, NC State, stays in their ranking. Stays at number 23. NC State, they're another team, in my opinion. I don't really believe much in NC State. Of course, they also beat Clemson, which Clemson doesn't look good this year, so whatever. SMU, number 24. This team's known for offense. Don't really know much about SMU. They have 5 wins. That's all I really know. And then San Diego State at number 25 at 4-0. Just saying, but this San Diego State team is coached by Brady Hoke. Yeah, this San Diego State team is 4-0 somehow with Brady Hoke as the head coach. How that is possible, I have no idea, but it is. But really, that's all I have for this episode. I mean, a solid top 25. These teams all deserve to be here, and yeah, that's all I really have to say about this one. I'm just looking to get on to NCAA football picks, which I do have everybody's picks. I can make my own, even have their shockers as well. So I'll get into those in just a moment. But this episode is over. Thanks for watching. Until next time, adios, everybody.